Well, made it all the way to the 16th of February. You're watching this in the future. We gave it a good run. We fought back, but the nuclear don't play fair. The pro-nuclear crazies are crazies. We're just normal, everyday people. We don't know how to go up against crazy. That's the nuclear without their disguises on. That's what they really look like when they go home and kick their feet up at the end of the day. That was him telling his wife to go get him a cup of tea. That was a known academic. We're not going to mention his name because he might come to my place and eat me. Good morning, everyone. Made it on time again. That's the way it works. Some days you can make it on time. Now this building is right alongside a reactor too. Just saying, not trying to point fingers or nothing. You know. And it was believed a nuclear explosion occurred somewhere around here. Now, I don't think that's an explosion. Who cares if it was nuclear, if it wasn't? I'm not really gonna cut any kind of big whoop. I don't care. Back up. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Blew up and caught fire, though. Let's agree on the basis, if you don't mind. Now, the number 2 apparently is way more graver than this building. I'm going to let you sit there and ponder that for a few seconds. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy and savor that moment because I'm sure that really made a lot of sense. That's much worse. That's not as bad, apparently. According to the experts, is number 2. Okay. Now, apparently, 1,000,000 sievers is not as bad. Now, that 1,000,000 sievers probably got nothing to do with... And by the way, Ian Goddard from Goddard Journal. Oh, what a despicable monster that guy turned out to be. Wow. What we face is the great unknown of all mankind. 10 sievers, April 29, 2011. Let me change that, sorry. Definitely more appropriate for what we're talking about. 10 sievers, deadly dose. Now, that might not have anything to do with it. The reason it's 10 sievers is not because of that building alongside of number 2, but because of number 2. The building alongside of it blew up, sure, big whoop, and the one on the other side of it, unit 1 blew up, but the one there that's still intact, that's the one you should be worried about. Okay. You kind of want the Twilight Zone tune when you're doing this, but fatal radiation level. Fatal. Now, academics and scientists and everybody knows it's fatal. They're not naive and gullible and stupid. So there's a good chance they knew that was there, and that's why they won't go there. That's why they only send the homeless in. Because when 10 is a fatal dose when you walk past it, we're not really sure, but the homeless seems to be disappearing and they're running out of them. And there's a lot of energy going on when these reactors got torn apart. Japan's agency finally emits the nuclear fuel and melted. Really? Well, that was pretty kind of you. We were kind of like, well, we watched it blow up. Therefore, we're going to assume that something that could have happened. And, just an incredible possibility. Like when you see a plane coming at you and it does that, you can say, okay, it blew up. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Well, it's the same thing. That when I show you this, that's no different than if you've seen that plane blow up in front of you. Here's a picture of it. What more do you want? Picture's worth 1,000 words. Come on, give me that. At least give me that much. And hugs to everybody in the comment section and out there in TV land and around the world and throughout this ordeal. We're all in it together. Except for the nuclear apologists. They're not in it together. They're in to get us into this fantasy world. Something else from another solar system, somebody else could come in and solve all of our problems. Don't try to solve them yourself. Ideology is very dangerous. Now, when you look at that, do you really, what could cause such a detonation of something so clean and green and too cheap to meter? Then you have all these headlines that do make it out, but they don't get recirculated to beat down any opposition from the lawyers. Opposition is for the lawyers, from the lawyers, right? Just let me think about something else for a second. Because I got a tendency to run away for an hour. And just... every day is like this for me. Because there's so much I'll never get to. So much I can't tell you today. Because you got to pick your fights, There's so many fights you can be in each day. That you should be in each day. That, you wish you had the capacity to come out and challenge the public relation firms' narratives. It's such a betrayal. So in 2011, there was a lot more than Fukushima happened that year. There's a lot of distractions, per se, that just would have got shuffled away and people wouldn't have thought about it. The reason those headlines, like a million sievers, don't mean much to anybody. You had Osama bin Laden was killed in 2011, dominated the news. Hussein Mubarak in Egypt stepped down, dominated the news. At the same time, Al-Qaeda and Hussein is impacted. You had Ben Ali fled Tanzania and basically really truly kickstarted the Arab Spring, and that just dominated the media throughout all of 2011. Gaddafi was killed in 2011. What else? You had Prince William got married 2011. Prince William got married in 2011. You had Gaddafi was killed, walking around with a stick up his arse. You had the English riots. You had Steve Jobs died in 2011. Steve Jobs died. Just that dominated all of these events. You had the English riots in 2011. What else? Kim Jong-il died 2011. So you had all of this bizarre things happening. And now we're 2017. We are in real trouble. We are in real trouble. All the rods melted at all the reactors. 9.7 sieverts. Like, we should never got to this stage. This is never supposed to happen. And they knew it could, of course. And you can't go in. You can only send in the homeless. So nobody there knows what they're doing, because the ones that do, they're terrified. Yeah? They're not going in there because the fuel rods went everywhere. And you got meltdowns. And so it's not like you go upwind of it, and then you come in behind it and you get up and you kind of have a look at it, and you got this special suit on that can't keep out the gamma shine or the alpha burst or gamma burst or neutron shine or whatever the new cliche is going to be. But the material itself is kept in water because otherwise it radiates this phenomenal energy. And that energy is sieverts. The particle that we kind of associate things as, we think of things as a particle, but it's actually atoms for the most part. But there is particles that are being cannibalized by the intense fires of like 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures. So rebar, when there's an earthquake, their rebar and steel and cement and everything is collapsing in on top of these fireballs that have burnt down into the earth. The buildings, these things burnt straight down into the earth. And so the containment can only hold it for 1,600, 2,200 degrees. After that, it's left to containment. The cement can't hold it like that, right? It's thick cement with steel and tungsten steel and everything embedded in it as a last line of defense. But no, it goes right through that. It's a joke, right? They done that to meet a requirement, not because it actually works, but to meet a requirement to say they done something. There's nothing on the earth can contain it. And what that means, though, is that Earth is consumed and it doesn't get smaller. It doesn't it's not like a log where you put a log on a fire and the log burns out. So it just continues to burn in a mass. And it consumes everything around it, though. Unless it's up drifting in the middle of space or something. But generally, it's going to consume everything around it. The rocks, the steel that falls on top of it, the rebar. And you're talking about an enormous amount of atoms per, like a rock or a piece of rebar or large chunks of the building or the homeless or the immigrants who don't speak the language that ended up in this hell. It's just a figure of speech for me, trust me. Because when I think about it, it's heartbreaking to see what's happening, the cruelty. That the heroes that go into those reactors is just, we got the lights up on bright to try to keep the camera. Yeah, it's too bright. Let's try that for a while, though. Well, the idea is so the camera, let me get back on track. So the homeless, the destitute is really, you're not getting skilled people to go in. It's not like you got these journeyman mechanics or journeyman engineers or journeyman, equipment operators or journeyman, and professional, right? Who goes to job every day with all the luxuries because they got lots of money. They have that latitude. They've been at it for many years. They're very professional in their approaches. They got big team meetings and everybody's on the ball. They're aware of all their environment and their obstacles, and they're acutely aware of how radiation works and gamma shine and alpha and beta shine. Because we're talking about Mach fuel. Mach fuel has this phenomenon where even the atoms are capable of putting off like a gamma shine or like these weird friggin' phenomenons. And it's much more intense, obviously, in Japan. But there was so much of it come to North America. Let's get back to another headline. Okay, let's come over. So when this blew up, excuse me, this blew up, substances rose 5 kilometers into the air at least. This is just one study, right? And this was NOAA come out. But then you'll see other people coming out talking about NOAA's other model, like D News, whoever that guy is, I can't remember anymore. But what a disgusting person. You can go to D News and type in Fukushima, and you'll see this guy in this video, this picture. And what he's doing anyway, he's deceiving you on purpose, because that's NOAA's model there, right? But here was NOAA's real model. So why didn't he show you that, right? That's a question you need to ask him and his friends and his families and his loved ones if you're watching this or you hear about what he done. You need to hold that guy accountable and contact the university. Say you're a family member or his wife or husband or whatever, and that he's lying to the population, and you can prove and you want his degrees taken away from him. That's what you should be doing, right? If you're his child or his sister or husband or wife or mom or aunt or uncle, you should contact that university and get his degree taken away. He knows better. What he's doing is vicious, yeah? He knows all these models were out there. It's just so heartbreaking to see. Like, you got to go after his producers and his editors and that media that's supporting them, which is Discovery Channel. Hold him accountable. But it's so disingenuous to do what he's doing. He knew NOAA had that model out there, but he refused to tell people. He made fun of everybody. Really something, man. It was really something to see people like that. Like, it scares me. I would be terrified if I was on the street and seen that guy. That would terrify me, trust me. We know he's a murderer, right? He knows better. See? He's educated. I'm just saying. Look, the models were well known. We know how pollution works. Just remind everybody all the time. Because that's the thing about this story. Then you can fix that shit a little bit better. Maybe I could. Maybe I can't. I'm not telling. Friggin' owie. Oh, now I got no color. Now too much color. Okay, I'm not going to go play with that right there. Right there. I'll try it on the other set in a second. Let's keep going. So, we received an incredible large amount of fallout. Just unbelievable amount. But hey, according to him, right, you're an idiot.
Computer simulation shows how radioactivity is spread around the...
You're an idiot if you think this guy and the university is actually telling the truth, because he's with D News, Discovery Channel. Why would you believe the university?
Shows how radioactivity is spread around the world
in
from
Japan.
The disabled Fukushima Daiichi plant. The simulation was created by a group of researchers at the University of Tokyo and Kyushu University and released on Wednesday. The simulation is based on the scenario in which contaminated air was vented from the disabled number 2 reactor building on March 14th, 3 days after the massive earthquake and tsunami. Computer images showed the radioactive material was lifted 5,000 meters into the air. It was then carried by westerly winds and spread over the Pacific Ocean. The images indicate that on the 4th day after being vented, the substances reached the west coast of the United States, and on the 7th day, they approached Iceland after...
Now, that only had to happen one time. That only had to happen one single time. Not 2 times, no. Just one time. That's all that gotta happen. And it did. Okay, let's come back to the story. Very good. So, when a worker gets 10 sievers in their thyroid. 10 sievers. And 178 of the workers, right where my finger is to in this particular case, and we're talking about numbers of 10 sievers. Well, they got too close to Unit 4, too close to Unit 3. This story was about a guy outside. And it was probably this guy here spraying reagents. And I can't remember. This was July the 31st, 2011. Anyway, he got a serious dose doing, or someone like him doing that job. This could very well be him, apparently. But this was because fuel rods landed all over the site. And that's what they do. They give you a fatal dose. Now, he probably died within a month or less, obviously. Now, they say, you know, you get too close, and 50% of the people will die within 2 weeks. Yeah, and the other 50% will die 2 weeks later. But they never say that part. They say, 50% of the people would die if they were exposed to it. No, they all die, but right away, you know, some of them would have died that day, that night, next morning, that week, depending on how many was exposed. Because we're talking about a lot of homeless people are being thrown away every day, are being disposed of. You can see it. The reactor cores, pop, right? Falling out of the sky. They're just spraying regions all over the place, and they're getting killed. That's why Harvard's not there doing this, right? So, 200 sievers. Now, a lot of the media is reporting over the last week or so that the highest numbers, new numbers, for Unit 2, for instance, were 73 sievers, right? And they leave out all kinds of numbers like this on purpose, right? But, like on both sides of it, that's Unit 2, way over in the corner, right? And you got 2 reactors blown apart on one side of it, and another reactor blown apart on the other side of it. Let's come in and explore that for a second. Or not. Dina, I'll get it. I got it. So you got, let's do this again. So that's Unit 2 up there. I'm going to jump in the game here, I guess. Drag all my shit up here. Okay. So that's just because for distraction-wise, I know how this works. I'll get rid of some of that. And get rid of some of the bottom, whatever. Okay. And so this is Unit 2. That's one we're all worried about, apparently. But on both sides of it, this is Unit 1, destroyed and gone. That's the one we just talked about, 200 sievers. Outside of that, I'm not sure, on one side or another was a million sievers outdoors. Outdoors. This is why I'm always telling you that whoever's in those depictions of people outside these reactors, they're dead now. That's why I've always said that to you and continue to say it, but I don't really focus in on any subject, I know, because we go through so many aspects and facets. The idea is to introduce you to the documentation so in your future research, now this is Building 3, 2, 1, but Building 3 is 2 million times worse than any current reactor on the planet. Dan, put your finger down. No, I'm going to use it again. That's Reactor 4, Reactor 3, Reactor 2, Reactor 1. They can't slip into the ocean, but the core can go down into the earth and slide into the ocean. So it's a metaphor for the building slipping into the ocean. Come out and say, no, that's stupid. But it was the core slipped down and slipping out into the ocean. And that is like a catastrophic event. So you got to read between the lines of what they're saying when they're saying it. You always got to think in those terminologies. But at 225 sievers per hour, made 30th, 2011. your sources, E&E News is just aggregating it, and they got all the supporting links. They're not they're just quoting, and then they link you over immediately. Right at the top of it. You don't have to read anything, just go link right over. And if you scroll down, link after link after link to all the original stories. They're not making stuff up or telling you something. They're just linking you over, aggregating the news, which is cool, because now that means we got it all at our fingertips. That's building 1. Let's go take a really good look at these buildings. Let's focus a little bit for a few moments. This is Unit 1. That's the heat signature up in your top corner. And the buildings, obviously, because it's nuclear, it's not like a banana. You got to spend $1 billion a year every year for a billion years on this thing. 1 million sieverts per hour. 5 kills you. Takes you a little while, but you die. That's a fatal dose. If you put one on the side of the road in a popular city, that's why radiation, we have terrorist laws. That's why we got to have nuclear waste repositories. 5 sieverts is just a tiny piece, could do that. You hide it in a telephone pole with a robot, and you can exterminate everybody who walks past that within a year. Very dangerous stuff. Right? Put it on the subway of a subway system no one knows is there. You radiate everybody walking past it. Within a year, you kill most of the city off. Just a small piece of this. We're talking about millions and millions of pounds got washed into the ocean. Millions blew up, caught fire, and was radiated through the environment. It doesn't lose its toxicity. It doesn't lose its ability. Now, there was a phenomenon with salt water. When he sprayed salt water on these reactors, because he had no choice, the country was wrecked. And then this salt water was able to take the particles and turn them into little nuclear engines. And you can see the overlay is because you can have 2 windows side by side. I'm just going to try to fix it so it doesn't stand out and just... I'll show you how that works anyway. So... Oh, there we go. So I can have 2 different pictures, right? And I can just readjust both of them perfectly to wherever and just reset everything. Very handy. Like the software I'm using is just so... I don't know how we even do this each day and get away with it. Sorry, heat signatures. Woo! Number 2 is a blazer. Look at number 2. Number 2 is cooking, baby. Whoa! That's cooking. Isn't it? Up in the corner? Top left-hand corner for you. Oh, Danny, I'm going to say left-hand corner, do left-hand corner. I got to think about everything I'm doing. Because the equipment I'm using, it's just... whatever. Who cares? Nobody cares. Anyway. I don't know why I always say shit like that. Well, you got to think about what I'm actually doing here. It's just... I kid you not, it's so difficult just to keep anything working at any time. It's like, wow, shit, honest to God. I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Let's keep going, Danny. You're running out of time. You only got 31 minutes left, man. You better stick it in second gear. You want to cover shit, Dina. Get off the speed, Dina. I'm sorry. We're at it. We're doing it. Hold on. Watch. Whoop, whoop. I'll get it. All I got to do is figure out how to zoom in. This is Unit 1. Now, do you think that they're really trying to spray water into the fuel? What they're doing is they're spraying reagent and boric acid in there. That's what these things are doing. They're not spraying water in the fuel pool that doesn't exist anymore. Right? So it's for boric acid and it's for reagents to try to tamper down the radiation so the homeless can last an extra few hours. That's important, you know? You gotta go Shanghai these people. You gotta kidnap them at the airports, the migrants, Gotta leave some of the borders open so the migrants can get in, so you can take them and throw them on this. Figuratively and literally throw them at that. It's an abomination what we're doing to humanity. We lost our humanity when we sat back. Yeah. We abrogated our responsibilities dramatically. This is meant to destroy itself, but we know now that it's total meltdown. 225 sievers meant the fuel rods were exposed. Unit 1, that's the one we're looking at right now in pretty good detail. So they built this off-site and came in with cranes and laid it there with cranes, remote control cranes. You're not going to see somebody up there with a 9/16 wrench because they'll die. Now, Elaine posted a link, and YouTube is a piece of shit because a lot of comments, I can't get stuck in spam and I can't get them to come out. I can't release them, no matter which browser I'm using. But they put these Kevlar panels, that's your sarcophagus, right? That's the headline that we're talking about today. Potential global catastrophe. Oh, hang on. I screwed up or something. Let's scroll down. Fukushima plant must be entombed like Chernobyl. They didn't entomb Chernobyl. But they're entombing it by doing this. But you can't entomb it. Because the noble gases that are being created, there's still a hydrogen production. The hydrogen doesn't just come from the zirconium claddings. Right? The chain reaction is running into all these natural elements in the earth. And it's creating hydrogen, right? With these concoctions that they were using, we do believe strongly, have a lot of supporting documentation showing they had plutonium and reclaimed plutonium in some other reactors. And this plutonium will burn 200,000 times hotter than the other plutonium that's not reclaimed. So you make plutonium through a neutron bombardment where you ended up with a 238 uranium turning to a 239 plutonium because it accepted through that process. So they got a sarcophagus on it in modular pieces. It was constructed off-site as Kevlar, and they're able to poke holes in this with probes and spray reagents in there. They're not trying to spray water in the fuel pool, okay? That's not, when you see those big fire hoses or cement trucks, which is not in that picture, they're not using cement trucks, right? For some reason. You don't have any kind of, you can't get close enough to it to poke a hose in there. Not that you would do that. Right? There it is there. But they're spraying reagents. Right? And they're telling you they're putting water in the fuel pool. But if they're putting water in the fuel pool, they would have poked it in the side and it would be crooked to make sure it gets in the fuel pool. They wouldn't spray it all over the place. The only thing they're going to spray from that height all over the place is going to be regions to aggregate and bond with the radiation. So the homeless last longer. It's all about making the homeless last longer. The damage at the Unit 2, which is really big in the headlines right now, there was 1 million sievers outside of it. You couldn't get close enough to poke a rod in there. That was done by robots. Right? We see Nuclear Matters and other people that are saying they've done it with a stick. That's ludicrous. That's absolutely insanity. That's a bald-faced fabrication. Yeah? These people are lawyers. We've called them out many times. Anybody see in the media, right, talking about this, we've called them out. I can assure you. It's Unit 2. She's pretty, eh? She's the best of the bunch, she tells you. So we see utter and complete, unequivocal destruction. I'm going to click a shit. Hang on. Oh, Danny clicked it. So Unit 4. You know what happened to that? Caught fire and blew up and caught fire. That's Unit 3. You know what happened to that? It caught fire. It blew up and it caught fire. This one here, it melted down. It blew up. It did detonate. It blew out the panel on the back of it. You can see it. That just kept pouring out of there. I don't know why. We're not sure. Look at the damage all around the site, right? No. It's okay, man. Shut up. Look at the stuff in the roof where it poked holes in the friggin' roof of the pump housing, right? And then Unit 1 is just shy of that. We just covered it. It's okay. It's all right, Dana. Don't worry about it. We'll get back in business later. There's Unit 1 there. See, I know what I'm doing. Dana thinking head. Shut up, Dana. Get on the program. Unit 2, there's the heat signature. Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. Break out the hot dogs. On flay. On flay. Here we go. Keep going. Stop being a weirdo. Like, this stuff freaks me out. So, Reactor 2 is right between Unit 1 and Unit 3. How do you get in between two reactors? Hey? That wasn't Harvard. That wasn't Yale. That wasn't Stanford. It wasn't the cowards from MIT. It wasn't the lapdogs from Oxford. It was the mass murderers who went around scooped the homeless, the destitute, and the victims of society for those people to go do that job because those people said that's what you got to do. They said go do that. They didn't say how. No experts going in here, baby. Just the homeless. Because we're cowards. They're cowards. And it's easy to take the victims of society and snuff them. Right, apparently. It's the 4 reactors of the apocalypse. They're the Medusas. If you go stare in their eyes, they'll kill you. They'll kill you dead. They'll kill you fast. You go walking around playing on that site within a square mile, you're a dead man walking. You just don't know it. You know it. You know something's wrong, but a month later, they're filling out paperwork. This is hell on earth. 190-foot high buildings? This won't change in a million years. That'll crumble and disappear long before that, but it'll still be there. It'll still be unapproachable. The core will still be below. It'll still be a burden up on society. And every millimeter that comes out of there is a threat. And we won't fix it because when the world wakes up, they're going to want Harvard and Yale and their children and friends and relatives. Why ain't you down there working on it? And they're not going to look them in the eye and say we're cowards. We're chicken necks. We lied. It's not like a banana. It's not like a potato chip. It's not like walking in sunshine. No. It's not like getting on an airplane. Like, see, what really makes this the most bizarre story imaginable is for 70 years, your friends, families, and loved ones, and the people you admire in the media and universities, institutions have never come out and said this is wrong. Never come out and said that was lies. Never come out and said, hey, wait a second. Someone's not playing fair. Someone's manipulating you. It doesn't look like that. How could it? It looks like that. But your friends and families never come out and said, that's a lie. Did they? They never come out and helped the world. And then people like me are shunned. Oh, he's a kook. You don't know. He's just showing you pictures. Pictures don't mean nothing. No, of course that is in there. Dina's lying to you. Look at the buildings. They're fine. Why, I go there right now if they let me. You just go hang out and pretend you're homeless in Japan for a few days. You'll get your crack at it. That's a gallows laugh, by the way, folks. That does not exist, right? People say that to you and show you that in the media and don't correct that are your enemies. That's your enemies. They're the people out to get you. They ain't no better. They looked at it and they said, well, that's not friggin' true. That's not there. I want more money if I got to go out and lie like that. But Big Brother is used to targeting everybody. So they're pretty confident that they can get away with it. That you're too big of a chicken neck to hold them accountable. That you're incapable of standing up for the little guy. That you're morally corrupted and inconceivably incompetent. That's what it means to you. When they show you that, that means they're calling you an idiot. When they say it's like natural radiation, any of these connotations, they're calling you an idiot. They're saying you're an idiot, right? They're disrespecting you. They're coming out on purpose to manipulate you and laughing at you that day. Coming and reading the comments and just laughing at everybody there because they know it's not right, that they lied. That's how they make their dollar. They know that Rolf is not inside of these reactors. You see that big bulb over there? That's supposed to be in the center, way up in the air. You see this alleged fuel pool? Like, Photoshop is such a tricky thing, man. It really is. Like, and if that's homeless, if that's what that is, that's the homeless, the destitute. It ain't Harvard. It ain't the academics. It ain't TEPCO. It ain't Prime Minister this or Prime Minister that. This ain't your engineers. These people are dead. We know that. But that's what it looks like right there. Don't believe that picture, believe this picture. And don't believe that picture, believe this picture, because these are all official pictures. So why do you got that big truck there if it looks like that? Why are you going to do that if it looks like that? These are the official TEPCO pictures. Everybody that worked at Chernobyl are fucked up. Permanently. A million of them died. Majority of them were kidnapped off the street, didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They were falling. All 600 fell out of the sky. And you're treated as incompetent, irrelevant. You're treated as scum of the earth. There's many of us out there knows. This is a painting by Thomas Ackerman. You can usually find the links under my video to him. He's a blogger, by the way. What we done was we went out and done that entire coastline because that radiated water they're putting in the containers is dangerous. These 30 million one-ton bags that they already picked up are very dangerous. The billions of tons of radiated tsunami debris from the meltdown that is also contaminated. This is different. They clean this up in communities they want to repopulate. We're right across from it. We went out and looked at the whole coastline. And what we showed on 260 days is a lot more than that. 15,000 miles was a frig of a lot more than that. These are just numbers we rattle off. It's documented up at the nuclearproctologist.org. Getting down to that time again. Let's see. Let's see what that works for us. These are the before and after pictures of the coastline of British Columbia, Canada. And as you can see, the pictures I took are above me. These are up at the nuclearproctologist.org. And what we show is nothing less than an extinction event on the coastline in the nursery, the tidal zones, where there would be 700 species of algae. We've seen around 28 species symmetrically throughout the entire coastline. When you added it up, there was nothing healthy. And that the handful of species you see left, for instance, if they disappear, it'll be naked. If those handfuls of algae disappear, it's going to be naked. 78 species of sea anemones. We've seen around 7-8 species. Only 2 or 3 were proliferating, but it was hard to find them that were actually along the entire coastline. There was only these are the before and after. Normally, it was just this incredible diversity. Let me turn that down for you. Sorry. It's screwed up sometimes. Oh, that's going to get rough. Let's give that a try as we finish it out. So we went and done the whole coastline. The whole coastline. And you won't find anything extra that I didn't find. The species are missing. There should be 70 species of sponges. There should be 480 species of worms. There should be all the mollusks and the snails, the periwinkles, which are big snails. And you would get hundreds of these on each rock. All these rocks would be loaded with this incredible diversity. You know, I used to sit in the ocean 6 hours a day, work in the ocean, but sit in there in the context of you'd be like overwhelmed. You'd be sitting there taking a break for a few seconds underwater on these air hosing systems, hookah systems. And if the ocean was just super life, it was complete super life. And you would try to sleep at night, and when you close your eyes, it was just this super life for much of the year. It's the damnedest thing. Now it's naked. Now it's clean, clear water. And so what we've got done is we have changed and destroyed the very basis of the food chain. And so this depiction, this picture in the Queen Charlotte, or Haida, formerly known as Queen Charlotte, British Columbia, Canada, you can find all of it up at my website. All the arrows are representations of everywhere that we went. And what it is just meant to give you context of a general scope of area. The pictures we're talking about are up in your top right-hand arrow right now. That top arrow in the right-hand side, where it says arrow in the back, that dot, black dot, is in right there. So the ocean current has to come around that spot, and it does. It's ferocious. And so that's why the before and after pictures look that way, but it's so much life because it's such it's very well known. These pictures are very iconic. They're very, anybody's ever been there, and this is, people come from all over the world to see those pictures over there. But now it looks like this. We know that, and we know what the rest of the coastline looks like because we've done the entire coastline. And that is available for free for everybody up at the nuclearproctologist.org, because we know you're not going to go out there and do that. We know you're not going to go out there and document that. We know you're not going to try to build an operation to go out there and then come ashore and put it all up online so everybody can utilize it. Well, that's what I got done. It's free. It's for you. You can make movies out of it. You can make documentaries out of it. It's free for everybody on this planet. Because we know you're not going to be able to go do what I done. It takes an incredible amount of skills just to navigate, let alone to pull off what we done. Well, like what we done was just the most incredible thing imaginable, the most inconceivable. Even today, I have to pinch myself every day and say we actually done it. The documentation is all archived up there in chronological order all over. Right, those arrows is just a small representation. I'm the worst person on the planet with a camera, but even the shit pictures are up there because you need that, right? Because I was taking like 6 at a time, maybe one will come out, or 60, and maybe 1 or 2 will be clean. But in the future, you'll be able to take those pictures, stick them in the software, and clean them up. You can do it right now, I'm sure. And they're in their raw format. And so they're high quality, 20-odd million pixels. Thanks to the foresight of Paulette Audrey, and who I never, ever can thank enough for originally getting out and getting those cameras and making that real. Underwater cameras included, right? It was a big original kick for us. That was awesome. When we first started these expeditions, that was huge to have that ability. And to end up in this ability where we can hit the beaches throughout the whole coastline. You know, this was an incredible struggle. We ran out of money all the time, and people were doing everything they could. and we continued to go. We just wouldn't give it up under any circumstances, and the people supported the operation the entire time, right to the very end. And there were like times where I just never had internet, and I couldn't tell people that we needed support, or I needed help, or I needed to raise money, and then you would eventually get that opportunity, and then it always just at the last second, when I'm ready to give up, it happened again. We were able to keep going. So it's all documented up at the Nuclear Proctologist. See, that just, even if I never did anything else, these graphics, but everything you're seeing, witnessing here today is a manifestation of those expeditions, right? Where everything you're seeing here today is because we need to keep telling that story. That is just the way it is. We got to tell the story. And so I have created this like kind of weird show here. Yeah. What's up? I created this weird way of getting out there, this whole environment, all the equipment, all the lights. We gathered it all up over the last couple of years, not understanding, not able to comprehend the significance, even then, of how important it was that somebody had to exist. Only understanding that somebody had to exist, not wanting the job, is why it went the way it did. Nobody wants this job. Trust me. You don't want it, I don't want it. The planet doesn't. The planet wants it, needs it, demands it. Insists, we better do the right moral, ethical thing. We better get our asses in gear. We got to stop with the bullshit. We got to stop with the manipulation machine. And I'll give you like an example that is undeniable, because this is what I do all of these episodes. There's so much documentation. If you know a little bit and you're looking and you find any of my videos, there's all the documentation will get you up to speed on the very basis. But it's enough there to get you highly articulating, educating, highly motivated. And there's enough, because I got so much sickening. Like this is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no escape for me. I can't find what I'm looking for, so whatever. But when it comes to Arnie Gunderson and Helen Caldicott, Christopher Busby, we've called them out. Go look the videos up on my site. We articulated it. And no one wants to do that, right? That's a shit thing to have to do. Come out and call lawyers. Because we got no option. We got to slow these people down. We got to take away their ability to manipulate people. And the only resource we got is to come out and bang into them. The only option we got is to come out and show you the documentation that, the nuclear power plants were in that 400 kilometers of coastline where all those people on the right hand died. Those people died up there in the red, and are missing were in the yellow because of the debris, right? Because the tsunami came through 400 kilometers. And so when you do a comparison of what the reactors should look like that's Unit 2 behind me, but it's still kind of intact on the outside. It's all gone on the inside. We lost the entire inventory. We knew this about a month ago. We knew it had collapsed down into the earth. We got an inside report came out of Japan directly to me. And I talked about this, right? That was in December 28th, I believe, area. I put out 2 videos about it. That's all you can do, right? You come out. There's so much to cover, so much to keep on top of. 20 million particles in rain. Now, iodine only lasts 8 days, but it's a tracer. That meant everything else is there. If there's 20 million of that, there's 20 million of something else. And that meant, like just iodine, you would have 10 times more 132, 30 times more 133 ionized radiated thyroid glands, 9 times more effective than the 131. got a shorter half-life, but no problem making it here because jet streams are actually real, yeah? I know. Go figure, right? But the reactors run on uranium and plutonium, not cesium, but cesium is a tracer. So when they tell you that, and they don't tell you that that meant all the other isotopes, that's a liar. If they're educated, if they're articulating, if they're in the media, if they're being quoted by the media could have went out and looked it up, knows exact words that I'm telling you right now, right? They made the model based upon the tracers. That's what they do. And then the tracers means you're in trouble. So 30 million one-ton bags, because the plume that doesn't exist, according to the people that, like the generation growing up right now, are going to want to hang these people. Going to want to gut these people. The ones that are to tell you it's like walking in sunshine. Man, they're in for some rough ride coming up in the next year or two. Their whole world is going to get snapped apart. Anybody who's out saying shit like that, they are in more trouble than they can ever imagine. This world is going to lose it on them right away. Anybody that's quoted in the media, any journalist didn't hold them accountable, those people are in so much freaking trouble, buddy. Whoa. I wouldn't want to be a journalist that lied to anybody coming up. Or an academic, right? Or professors, or a university, or someone who wrote a book, or made a movie, or a documentary and lied. No, you're going to be targets. Man, this planet is going to come looking for revenge right now. It's doing it right now. But it's going to be over the top in the next year or so. Now I got a big friggin' red tint. Let's fix that. Who knows? That's because I was doing this. Playing around with shit. Can't get that to work today. It's gonna give me a hard time. Let's keep going. Here we go. We're almost through it. So the workers those guys are dead. And this is not real. This is what they're saying, though. They're saying that that exists in the building over there. They're saying that this behind me exists in the building over there. And these homeless, don't worry about it. Right? Think about the buildings that are 190 foot high. 190 foot high. 190 feet high. Don't say 190 foot. Then you're not talking perfect English, so you don't make any sense. So when people think like that, then they'll realize in the future that that was right by thinking that, oh, he's got an accent, I'm not going to listen to him or whatever. He's not perfect English or something. I ignore all the pictures, documentations, and everything else because like there's so many people like that. And this is a trigger reflex that will haunt them forever and ever. Right? It's meant to do exactly that to them. Yeah? So everybody's capable of understanding what I'm showing you. You don't have to be a genius, do you? Huh? Like, it's only when Dana puts it together with some graphics or whatever, picture side by side, then you look at it and you're like, okay, that's fucked up. That's bullshit. That building is destroyed. Your media can't see that. Your academics can't work that out, though. Your government, your policymakers can't figure that out. No, it's fine. The integrity is perfect. People went in and put all kinds of structures under there. This is what Arnie Gunderson, Helen Caldicott are saying the fuel pools exist, but they're the experts. Arnie used to make the assemblies, and he's out there being quoted in the media now from an email. People are so freaking gullible. I can't believe these people are still out there talking. I can't believe they haven't crawled into a hole and hid away. We've called them out. We showed them. Go check the videos out on my site. They tried to give me a strike a couple of weeks ago. I had to take down 2 videos, right? They tried to give me another strike, pricks. Cowards. And cowards. I would have come after you. You're so lucky. Like, I'm done with playing games anymore. I would have come after you in a heartbeat now. Give me a strike. Good luck on that, first off. If you do succeed from here, in the last year, I'm ready to come after you. I've come after everybody. I beat the fuck out of everybody so far. I'm coming after you now. Now we have a legal way of coming after you. It's not a big headache. We got no choice. You can't have your people kill the planet. It's better to get rid of you. That's what's going to happen by nature, right? Fuel pools are up high in the building, over 100 feet up.
A long way from seeing the end of this. One of the things that's not discussed is the spent fuel pools that are still sitting in blown up reactor buildings, and the tops of these pools are 100 feet above ground.
100 feet above the ground?
Fuel pools, although they have, in most of these reactors, quite a lot of fuel in them, perhaps as much as 10 years worth of spent fuel, by this time are not generating as much heat as obviously the fuel in the core.
So 10 years of fuel, that's what he's basically saying. And 10 years of fuel was up in the... Oh, gee. How'd you get out of the cage? You get back in that cage, you little bugger. He's back in his cage. Big bully. He's okay, though. He's pretty good. He likes to play fetch. Well, we made it, did we? We ran through it again today. It is what it is, you know. It's been such a rough, horrible run at it. We're far from broken and beaten and giving up. That ain't never gonna happen. Just wish with all my heart I had the ability to come out and fight on the same level, on the same level as these people are able to lie and manipulate and deceive. You see him out there saying it's like a banana and a potato chip. So how is it that we have nobody with that ability? I don't want the job, but if I'm going to have the job, might as well get me going. Might as well get me started. Might as well put me in gear. Might as well give me the ability to go out and deal with these people. Greenpeace gets millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars a month. All these organizations out there that claim they're for Earth, there's thousands of them. None of them contributed. No one's trying to help me. It's really something, right? It's left up to a handful of people to fight for humanity. All these people that just sitting there waiting for what? Waiting for someone to go out and document the entire coastline and put it up at their website. I already done it. It's already done. You got any idea what that took? How long that took? How much misery that created? How many people suffered so that could happen? Continue to suffer and forever just to find out. Now we found out and we're being ignored and ridiculed and humiliated and attacked. But we got it this far. We made it this long. We kept our heads up through thick and thin. We weathered those storms. That's what we're good at. That's what we do. The world demands nothing less. And thanks you. Thanks you.